True story, I am a mortgage lender who has chosen to rent instead of buy. Wow, let's talk about it. I'm like a traitor to my industry, right? No. So guys, if you watch a lot of my videos, you know that I don't always think you should buy. I do think that sometimes it makes more sense to rent. So today we're going to be talking about my personal journey and why I determined that I'm going to be renting for at least a year before I buy. So for those of you who don't follow me on Shorts or Instagram, I am moving from California to Florida. Oh my goodness, yes. Now, there's many of you who can guess the myriad of reasons I'm moving, but a big factor of it is that my son is now in college and he's on the East Coast, right? And I want to be closer. You know, I'm not going to be in the same state hovering. I'm not, but I want to be near a beach. And I also want to be in a state that aligns with some of my values and my financial goals. And when we sat down and we did the math and we looked at everything and what we wanted, right? Like what's important to me. So that's something you guys should write down if you're thinking of moving out of state. What's important to you? So outdoor living is very important to me. You know, great restaurants, super important. Some sort of culture, you know, museums, something to do. Proximity to airport. I want to be able to go visit my family, you know, really quickly if I need to. So being close to an airport's important. Feeling like I'm on vacation. I know that's a weird one, but like seriously, the mortgage industry has been so stressful the last few years that when I'm not working, I want to feel relaxed, okay? Also, I had all of you guys talking me into moving to Florida for the last 5 years. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about, you know, and I said this in a short, but like I had a couple veterans moving to Margaritaville. That looks awesome. We've got, the Villages, right? That looks cool. There's so many cool retirement communities in Florida. And then also we have everyone who's moving to like Orlando and, you know, the beach cities, and you guys just sold me. So anyways, I wrote down what was important to me. And when we sat down and we looked at, you know, what we knew, we came up with Miami Beach because it is, you know, Miami itself is actually the second largest financial center in the United States right now. Yeah, and for my husband's job, that's really important. So really cool, but why aren't we buying, right? Okay, here's why. I've been there 2 times, guys. I've been there 3 times, excuse me, in my entire life. I do not know that area well enough to choose where to live. I have no clue. And also, I've never lived in a big building before, like with hundreds of other people. And based on where we want to be location-wise, that's the vibe you're gonna get. You're gonna be in a big building. There's gonna be elevators, you know, we're on a floor that's over 30. I've never, you know, I'm afraid of fires because of California. So there's a lot going on. And, you know, we were talking to friends, we're like, where should we move? And everyone has a different opinion. You know, oh, you should be in Coconut Grove. Oh, you should be in Orlando. You should be in Daytona. You should be in Destin. You should be in Tampa. Oh my goodness, St. Petersburg. You should be in all these different places. And we didn't have enough information to make an educated decision. Okay, that is why we're going to rent for at least a year. Whenever you're buying a property, you know, look, military is a little different. You guys are going to be PCSing, so there's a different strategy involved with that. But everyone else, you know, when you're thinking of moving to some extent, especially at my age, I don't want to move like constantly. It's too much. It's a hassle. You know, I like to have like everything perfect. It's a lot. I don't want to move to the wrong area, and I don't want to buy in an area that I'm going to regret, which is why I'm going to spend the year renting, right, to explore different neighborhoods, to really feel that Florida vibe, to live through that Florida summer. Some of you have told me I'm not going to survive, but you know, I think with AC I might. But also, how much are the air conditioning bills going to be? I don't know. And so that is why I have chosen to rent. Now look, you guys may be like, well, Jen, you're always telling us to buy. No, I'm not. I really am not. Like, I talk to people who are moving to different states all the time, and I'll say, hey, how well do you know the area? And a lot of times I'll hear like, oh, like for instance, let's use my dad. My dad he moved from California to Santa Fe in New Mexico 5 years ago, maybe, I don't know. It was right after the big fires in California. And the reason he moved there is because he had vacationed there every single year for like the last 40 or 50 years. He knows it inside and out. It was his favorite place in the world to go. So when he was looking to, get out of California, to him, that was the place to be. Okay? And there's a lot of people where they have in their head, this is the ultimate place I want to be. And I think if you're in a situation like that where you've explored it, you've spent some time there, sometimes we'll have people leaving the military and they'll want to move near where their favorite base was, right? So if you've had some sort of experience and you understand the area, buying makes sense. Right? Because look, renting is not cheap. You're paying a first, a last, and then all that rent every month is just pretty much being lit on fire. But if you're not in a position to make an educated decision, you're really not lighting money on fire, because buying something without understanding where or what it is can cost you more in the long run. Okay, so I think that when you guys are looking at moving to a different state, if you're unfamiliar with the state, I think renting's a great idea. If you're familiar with the area or you know specifically where you want to be, I think buying is the best way to go. If I knew exactly where in Florida I wanted to be forever, I would be buying right now. Okay, but since it's such a wild card to me, and since the living situation is so different to what I'm used to, I am going to rent for a year to see how I do. I mean, guys, I might freak out. You might see a couple videos where I'm like, I gotta get out of this building. Oh my God, Barbara, 4 doors down, will not be quiet. Like, who knows what's gonna happen? Bob the lender might be my neighbor. I don't know. Okay, it is uncharted waters. Also, it's an area that speaks a lot of Spanish. I don't speak Spanish yet, so I don't know how that's gonna work. So a lot of uncertainties, which is why I chose to rent. And look, there's always pressure on people to buy, right? But honestly, the best thing you can do as a homeowner or a future homeowner is make sure that the decision that you're making is educated. It's that simple. If you know that you want to live in a big building and you know that, this is the area you want to live in, cool, buy. But if you're trying something different, if you've always lived, let's say that you've always lived out on a ranch, right? Maybe you're in the Dakotas and you're on a ranch and you're like, I want to move to the city, rent for the first year, because it is going to be a shock, right? When you go from no noise to noise, that is something different, and you don't want to be in a position you can't get out of. The nice thing about renting is if you try it out and you don't love it, there's always a way out. When you're buying a house, unless you're just rich as can be and you're putting down a huge down payment, it can be hard to get out. So that's my 2 cents. What do you guys think? Where in Florida should I live? Is this the craziest thing I've ever done? Yeah, maybe, guys. I mean, if you knew the decision period on this, the time frame, you would be like, what? Weigh in. Have you done this? Have you moved to another state? But yeah, drop a comment. Tell me what's up with you, and we'll see what happens next. Thanks for watching, guys.